Hi guys and girls, what's going on? Buddy Blackford here with another Photoshop CS6 tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to start creating a new document, and I'm going to give you a little bit more information than I did last time about creating a document with the different color modes and things like that mean. So the first thing we're going to do is come up to File, and we're going to come over here to New, and Control N is the hotkey for creating a new document. So let's hit New, and then we'll get our new document menu. Now, before you even start working in Photoshop, you need to figure out and pre-plan what you're actually going to make. So there's a couple of things that you need to think of during the planning process. You need to think of, what is my image or my design going to be used on? So for instance, is it going to be used on is it going to be used on the web? Is it going to be used on print, mobile, or on video? Because the different types of color modes and resolution and everything like that is going to be different when you're working with those types of media. For example, when you're creating things online, you need a resolution of 72 pixels per inch and an RGB color mode. But when you're working for commercial print, you need 300 pixels per inch, and the color mode is going to be CMYK. So these are the kind of things you need to ask yourself. You need to figure out the size of the object, or of the project, your resolution, your color mode, your background, the color profile, which is down here in the advanced section, and then you're going to have to think of the pixel aspect ratio that you need. And most of the time you are going to be able to leave this at square pixels, but there's other times when you're not. Now, a pixel, if you're wondering what that is, a pixel is just a unit of information that holds color detail in an image. And Photoshop works with documents that are composed of pixels, and each of these pixels is going to have like the color detail in it, just like I said. So you're going to have to pre-plan what you're doing. That way, when you're working on the image, you don't have to go back and do it again. For example, this one time I was asked to create a logo for a person that does photography, and they needed a new logo for their photography business. And what I did was I created them a logo that would be good on a website, because that's what they mainly wanted it for. Then they decided later on that they wanted this logo to be printed onto some of their onto their photographs, so she could have her logo on some of the photographs. Well, you can't use 72 pixels per inch resolution, so I had to redo it over again and make it into a 300 pixels per inch resolution. And you just want to make sure that you get everything right, so you don't have to do that. I learned the hard way, so I'm hopefully telling you guys so you figure out the easy way and don't have to do that again. And then you can always keep track of your image, how big your image size is here, and this is in megabytes, 24 megabytes for this one. So that's pretty nice there. So let's go over selecting your color modes and resolution and things like that, because I just went over those for a little while. I mean, you probably understand the width and height. It's just the size, the dimensions of your object, of your image. So let's go into resolution and to the color mode. So let's start with the color mode first. And color mode has also been called color space, and it determines how Photoshop displays and prints your image. So you can choose from a few different color modes here. We've got bitmap, grayscale, RGB, CMYK, and lab. Now I'm just going to talk about grayscale, RGB. I'm going to talk about the last four. because I never have used bitmap before. We might come back to it at a later time, but this doesn't seem like something I need to go over with you guys right now. So grayscale is the best for black and white or duotone images, and it uses just one channel, and that channel has 256 shades of gray in it. So not like that crazy book. I didn't read it, but I heard it was pretty graphic, if you know what I'm talking about. 50 Shades of Gray. Well, this has 256 shades of gray, so you can see how graphic this will get. Yeah, dumb joke, I know. Oh well. Let's go to the next one. We've got the next one we can pick is RGB, and RGB stands for red, green, and blue, and this is the best for online and multimedia color images. So red, green, and blue are the primary images on your monitor, so that's why it's best for online.